everybody, and welcome to day one of the Scrapbooking Fun Summit. I am Heather Cameron, one of your co-hosts, and Tracy is my partner in crime and our other co-host. I'm the techie, she's the creative, although I'm creative too, but she gets all the amazing speakers and stuff, and I deal with all the major technology, and I pull her into the tech world every once in a while. First of all, I want to thank our sponsor for today, and our sponsor for today is Tracy. So Tracy and I both run our own businesses. I am an online business coach and customer attraction strategist. And Tracy we're both in Canada, and Tracy runs a business called The Embellished Connections, which is a virtual scrapbooking store. So if you are looking for scrapbooking supplies in Canada, Tracy's one of the ones to reach out to. She ships all over Canada, and she loves to find the unusual and the different. So she can be great for introducing new products that you may have never seen. If you're local, she also runs crops. Events. She runs her own events twice a year. She runs another 2 events with one of her good friends for charity twice a year or once a year. Twice.
I do, yes, because I do weekend ones a few times a year, and I do the charity one a couple times a year.
And then
Yes,
she attends local
yes.
crops as well. So if you're in the Ontario, Ottawa area in Canada, you may actually see her at a local crop or event, but otherwise she ships across the country. So there's my plug for our wonderful sponsor today, Tracy. And we are excited to get started with Katherine. First of all, make sure you download your bingo card if you haven't already done so. Just being here gets you a square on the bingo. Download that, post it in the group, share loves if you're in the Facebook group. If you don't love Facebook, don't worry. You can send stuff to us and we will post it for you or do that. So without further ado, we are with the lovely Katherine, who has been with us for all of our summits or the last 4. I can't remember. Most of them, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I missed the first one, I think. After I saw your first one, I reached out to you and said, hey, I want to be part of the fun. And then I've been here ever since.
So that would make this number 4.
I think
right?
so,
This is
yeah.
our 5th summit. So
Now you're making the fun.
I'm trying.
You're making the fun. So for those who don't know you, because we have lots of new people registered, we have Tracy from South Africa listening to us now. So thank you. What time is it in South Africa? I should know. Actually, that would be evening. I know that one. It's Australia that confuses me. Where are you in this world? We know, but let them know where you are in this world.
I am from a little town called Waterdown, Ontario, Canada. It is just outside of Toronto. And so I'm at like 2:00 in the afternoon here, Eastern time. It's a little town. It used to be in the middle of nowhere, and now like the city has eaten us up. But yeah, so just a little small town in Canada.
Excellent.
Yeah.
How are you a card maker, scrapbooker, play with your Cricut machine expert, all around crafter? Where would you put yourself?
So I do everything. Like I don't know. I do a lot of paper crafting just because I get lots of free paper from people. I don't know how it happens. It just does. I get lots of free paper, and it's not from sponsors, just from like random people. And so I do lots of paper crafting. I do sewing. I do upcycling. I do vinyl. I do shirts. I do like everything. So I kind of do everything. I do a lot of cards because cards are like, at my house, cards go like toilet paper. Everyone needs cards for everything. So there's always cards being made. So I do a lot of that. I do a lot of just paper stuff, right? Whatever you can do with paper, flowers, paper. And then I do just whatever I can sort of think of, I do, right? So I'm not like limited to just like one thing. I don't know. So right now I've been on a big sewing kick, which is, a little bit not scrapbooking at all, but I've had to do some sewing because summer's coming up. So I needed to do get some game card bags ready and some money bags for the kids and some purses and some bags and some, pen holders and all this sort of stuff. So that's all coming out on the blog.
So do you ever get out of your craft room, or are you just like always in your craft room?
I only craft from 10 till 3, and then I have an hour for lunch, and then I have kids' doctor's appointments and so I get about on the whole thing, the whole blog, all the making the crafts, all the troubleshooting the crafts, all the editing of pictures and everything. I get about 40 hours a month. So I don't spend that much time down here, but it's enough. I think I could do a little bit more.
How did you get started in all this crafting world?
So I've answered this question before, so I'm sorry for those of you who may have heard it before, but years ago, my I like custom t-shirts, and my husband really likes custom t-shirts. And it started off that I had to buy, like, I'd have to source out someone to make t-shirts for me, and I'd have the design, and I'd have to go through and get them to approve the designs, and I'd pay a bunch of money, right? And like, I don't know, let's say like 15 years ago, maybe it was like $20 a shirt or $25 a shirt. So the price hasn't changed that much, but when you're buying 5, 10, 15, 20 shirts a year, like, it adds up, right? And so I was like, well, there's got to be a better way to do this. And so I started making, a friend of mine introduced me to Cricut, which is what I use a lot, but not all the time. And it showed me how to use that to make shirts. And so I started making shirts with that. And then I started making, like, oh, this makes paper crafts. And so I started making paper crafts. And so in between all that, or before all that, I would like kind of secretly craft. I wouldn't craft like in public. Well, because like, I don't know, I come from a family that's like very like practical, maybe is the term, not to be derogatory, but so doing crafts is like, what are you doing? Like, that's a waste of time. You're not getting anything out of this. So I had to like do it secretly, right? So between my secret crafting and the shirt making, it sort of started to snowball. And then I didn't have enough room for my shirt making apparatus, and I had to get a heat press for that. And then I had to get more desk space. Then I had to get more supplies. And now I've got like everything.
And you're out of the closet.
Yes. And so now I'm totally, now I just craft all the time.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Here's a new question for you. What's one of the hardest things you've had to conquer as you go into this crafting? Technique or machine or whatever comes to mind. Doesn't have to be that. We've had really interesting answers. So
my hardest thing is color.
Hmm.
And this, I don't know if this sounds weird or not, but I am like the worst selection of color possible. I cannot match colors. I cannot coordinate colors. I cannot color. Like, the color schemes of things is so hard for me. And I still struggle with this. I have a friend who I call up when I'm doing projects for summits and stuff. I'm like, do these colors work? Is this okay? Like, can I work with this color? And she's like, no, let's just, you're totally out of line. So I cannot get color. I've got a color wheel, like this matches this. No, it does not work for Catherine. Catherine does not do color. So color is my like, it's my nemesis. I cannot, maybe one day if I don't know, if I try hard enough, if I work more at it, I don't know, maybe. But that's what friends are for, right?
If it helps you, if when we look in your background, I would never go, oh, she doesn't know what she's doing with color. Like, really, it's not.
This is not my color selection. I would not have picked, like, the pink color I got my boxes was my friend's selection of colors. It's all like, none of the, I can't do this color stuff by myself. I'm terrible at color. I cannot. And like, I'll buy these like paper packages, right? Like, it's like a 24 or 50 page package of like, 12 by 12 cardstock, right? You'll use this for scrapbooking. And I will pick the 2 pieces of paper in that book that do not match for my like project. And like, those books all match, and I can still mess it up. Like, it's just, I cannot color. That's my worst. That's my like, that's
great
my
answer.
block.
It's an interesting question because we're getting very diverse answers. So thank you for that. How about we dig in and you share a little bit about what you actually created for the summit for people who haven't watched it yet. We have people who have already watched it and said it was a lot of fun. Okay, so let's see if I can make this work. I got this to work in the background, so let's see if we can get this to work. So I made this. Yes, I got it to work. So I made this. I call this the Summer Shakers. And it's this kind of like, I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I really struggled for this summit this year. I could not like figure out what to do. I didn't want to do a card. And I couldn't think of a sort of scrapbooking thing. I thought, you know what, let's add something to a card or to a scrapbook or to sort of whatever. So I did a bunch of these shakers, and I do this for a lot of things. Like, I've done this in picture frames. I've done this in cards. I've done this on like, boxes and stuff. And so they're just like summer shakers. So this is like a starfish and a seashell. Wow, I lost that word there. Got a sun, and I've got a palm tree. And somewhere else I had, but I lost it when I was bringing it over here. I have like, what's it called? A sand dollar as well. And so I thought I would do something summery and like just something different. So this can be used on like a scrapbook page as an embellishment. And I also go through like how to make them flip and flap on your pages in my video, so that if you're putting it onto a scrapbook page, you can like have secret message. You can have secret messages or secret pictures under there, or add it like, put a picture. I don't have a picture. I lost my picture here. Hold on. Like, if I were to have my kids here, I could put them here and like have them sort of
you know, looking like that or something. So that was sort of the idea that I had, because I couldn't think of like an actual like something project to do, like, you know, some sort of a full design of a page or something. So that's what I thought of doing. So that was my thing. And I remember emailing Tracy and saying, Tracy, I have an idea. I don't know if it's gonna work. And then Tracy's like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but it sounds great.
You mentioned the cricket word. So, you know, cutting cricket, Tracy's not her favorite thing to do.
Yeah. You know, so I can't, as a crafter, I'm one of these people who have, I can't cut a straight line. I can't cut a circle. So my Cricut does my like intricate cutting for me. That's like what I need to do it with, because I can't cut things. Like I've got a paper cutter for straight lines, scissors. I don't know what I even have those for, because I can't use them to cut like shapes or whatever. So that's what my Cricut is for.
Awesome.
What is your
question? What is your favorite thing to craft? If you're just doing it for the joy.
You know, I don't have a favorite thing. Like the thing that I do the most is shirts, because we go through shirts like crazy. So that's what I do the most, but I don't like to do the same thing twice, I guess. Like any craft that I do, I have to make like 10 of them to get perfect enough, because it's never perfect. But I never do the same craft again, really. Like I'll do, I don't know, like I'll make these shakers, and I've made similar shakers for other projects, but I won't make these ones again, right? And I'll make, you know, a card, and then I'll make another card again, but I won't make the same one again. Like everything is always just like a one-off, right? Or a 10-off, because I have to make it so many times in order to get it right. But I never, like, I don't have something that I go back and do over and over again. I don't know. That just seems weird to me.
I can relate. Tracy and I were talking about this in the concept of our summit. Actually, it's harder for me to repeat what we've done than to not change it, which might drive Tracy a little crazy, because I always want to make it better.
Yeah.
So I get that. What's your favorite go-to adhesive?
So I have maybe two. Let's say two. So for like, if I'm gonna change my view here again. Bear with me for a second, ladies. I like this feature you have in your little thing here. So if I've got this picture here and I'm gluing it to a frame like I've got here, I'm gonna use Barely Art Craft Glue. Barely, what's it called? Hold on a second here. I've forgotten the name.
You have it.
Barely Art Precision Craft Glue. That's this stuff here. This is what I use for gluing things together. And if I gotta use, like, if I'm using for like my shakers here, where it's like an elevated thing, or if I'm doing the same elevation on cards, I use double-sided foam tape from my favorite delivery store that delivers to my house. And it's just the generic no-name stuff that's like from Amazon. But just like the thin like strips of double-sided foam tape. Let me see if I've got. I happen to have some here at my handy workstation. It's like these little. Maybe I can get this to work. It's like these little strips. I bought 1,000 of them once in a package, and I may never. These will probably outlive me.
So we have a question. This might be a question for Tracy, because she may know the answer. Do you know what double-sided tape lasts the longest, or should we use glue for its longevity?
Ooh.
Tracy?
Score tape, or it's also called sukwang, is what you kind of read in the middle of the core. That's an extremely strong tape. Very, very good. There's definitely some people who will like the terrifically tacky tape, like it's a red tape, which is good and strong as well, but it's a lot of people hate trying to peel off the second layer, you know, the garbage piece. It's sukwang, score tape, it's all the same thing. To me, I mean, I use it all the time with chipboard albums, things like that. It's strong. It works. I've used it on my counter over here, if you could only see the kitchen area there. Anyways, and then as far as the liquid glue, now if I'm using again chipboard, because I will always use chipboard, I love my Tombow, the white glue, the white one, not the clear one. That's what I love. When you put if you're going to use, like, say, the score tape, and you want to maybe move your item around, that's often when we'll put a little liquid glue, just because as soon as you put it on that double-sided tape, it sticks. If you have the liquid glue, you can go, okay, hang on, my paper's not straight. You can move it around a bit and then stick it. But you don't want to use too much liquid, I find, on paper, because you can get the bubbles, right?
Tracy, I got a question for you about tape. Do you have like a fancy tape gun? Like,
Well, I love how you do that.
I've seen some crafters and they have these like amazing guns that's like pew, 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 pew.
Mhm.
Oh,
And
I need that.
that's it depends what I always say. Clients ask me all the time. It's like, what do you like? What can you use, right? I am not good with the larger ones, the larger 3M ones, which
Okay.
I always say are you're going to get the more value for your tape runner
Yeah.
in that one. But
Yeah.
'cause they're bigger and for me it's awkward, right?
Yeah.
I will just use a small Tombow one. Some people will prefer 3L or Scrapbook Adhesive brand. It depends what you like, right? The other thing that's extremely popular, and it does work very nicely, is the oh my goodness, oh my God, Misty is the brand. Hello, Trace. I'm not gonna think, but their glue holder, they're I can see them over there. I might have to run and go get one. Anyways, and it comes with Nuvo glue in there, and you have to use that bottle shape. But you can use any other glue. You just have to refill it. Plus, they give you an empty bottle, so you can use your Barely Art glue in there. You can, I just tell my clients when you're going to switch the bottle, make sure you write down what it is because you have to use the Nuvo glue shape to fit into that holder. But they are like I can use that, and it does squirt the glue out nice and thin as well. And then I've had clients of mine who have like one, glue press. Yes, sorry. I see somebody's saying, giving me the word. I couldn't think of it. Thank you. And I got some clients with severe arthritis, and I had them try it, and they can use it. I'm like, okay, that says something, right? So
There
yeah,
you go.
so
Good
that's
answer.
kind of the
Give me
choices,
ideas.
but it depends what you can use. It really does, right? What you're comfortable with.
Excellent. So, a question to Catherine: what is your favorite crafting tool?
I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite tool. Like, I like my paper cutter because I can cut paper and I can cut a whole lot. I can get away with cutting a whole lot with my paper cutter, which I shouldn't, but I do. I like my Cricut because it helps me like cut shapes that I need to cut, right? Even like if I'm making shirts or if I'm making crafts, whatever I'm making, if I can put it into the program, I can get it to cut out eventually. So I can get that to work. So I like that. But I just I don't know if I have a favorite tool. I like everything that I use. Like if I don't like something, it's kind of doesn't get used anymore. I have gotten rid of things that I don't use. So
That's good.
I don't know if I have a favorite one. I love palm tree shape.
I'm catching up on the comments, so I'm just going as they come. So love your palm trees. Someone else said, love how it flips and you can personalize however you want your secret messages. Love it.
Yeah, this was a hard summit for me to design something for. I was really like just stumped on this one. So I was just like, I got to think outside the box, but I always kind of do.
A way to put it on the page protectors I use for my scrapbooking so my pages don't get all mucked up. You can put it on the outside of the page protectors, I think is what you might mean from that. Yeah, so they can flip it.
Yeah,
I think there's such a great idea. You can mix and match them on different pages. Love that you can hide a picture or message under them.
Yeah, so it's just, I don't know. I thought they were cute. I thought it was a neat idea. And like I said, this one was a hard one for me. I couldn't figure out how to do something for this summit. I don't know. It was.
Well, I also like that because shakers to me are often with cards. Okay. Yeah. And as a scrapbooker, I wouldn't do it. But just the size of your palm tree, I went, that's interesting. Right. So it's just, again, to take that little idea and, to get one little idea. Of course, your little flips of shakers, those are different than the regular shakers you see all the time. So that's what I liked. Yeah.
I'm assuming that they could downsize your palm tree in Cricut and make it for a card size. Is that an incorrect assumption or a good assumption?
Well, you can. So the only thing is now the sizes that I've made them, they're kind of, you can make them bigger, or you're going to have to cut your tape smaller because the sizes, let me just go back to my picture here before I start showing you. So the sizes that we have here, like for this and all these, that's almost the exact same width as the double-sided foam tape that I use. So if you have different tape or if you cut your own tape, because I just use like the strips, mine comes pre-cut, so it's like easy, right? But you can buy tape that you can actually cut and whatever, make it your own. If you make it smaller, like if you cut your tape smaller, then you can make these smaller. But the sizes that I went through in the video are basically the smallest sizes you can use without running into like overlap where you're going to see your tape here, or have it coming out on the sides and stuff. So you could make it onto cards. You would just need to cut your tape, and the tape that I have is not good for cutting.
And that leads into a question for Tracy. Could you please type in the chat your double side tape recommendations that you talked about? If you could type that in.
Yeah, sorry, I had myself on mute. I'm like, I gotta do that first. Yes, I will. I'll get onto YouTube there. One moment.
No, you can do it in this chat. You don't have to go on YouTube. Just type in there. It goes on YouTube.
Yeah, but I don't have a place to put it on
At the
here.
very bottom, where the very bottom of the comments, you type in. See, I'm the techie and Tracy's not.
Yeah.
So you hit the chat and you see the chat.
I think that's, I'm wondering if that's a host.
No, because Sarah typed in it. Sorry, this is a moment of Tracy getting tech conquered.
Yeah, but I really, I don't.
I don't see a thing on my thing here if I were to want to leave it.
Okay,
No.
well, maybe it's a host thing. I don't know.
Okay. I will do it still.
Actually, Tracy, type it in the private chat and I'll cut and paste it. Technology. It's always fun. Oh, now the precise glue holder is My Sweet Petunia.
Yeah, and that's the glue press there. Yeah, that's the Misty.
She just gave us the price.
I don't know why she has two different brands, kind of, but My Sweet Petunia is Misty. Yeah,
My Sweet Petunia. Gotta love the names people come up with for things. So I was like, okay, what did you come up with? It's multiple 8 or 9 layers of the shape instead of the foam tape of the shape. Oh, so they use.
Oh, yeah, you could. Yeah, you could do multiple. So yeah, if you cut a bunch of pieces of paper and then just glue them together, you could do that. I've actually done that for some crafts where I needed like thicker paper but didn't have that ability with my Cricut or my scissors. So I've done that. Yeah, you could do that. So you just glue a bunch of pieces of paper and then you could change it to any size that you wanted. Excuse me. Yes, I hadn't thought about that, but that is something you could do. And then you could put it on anything. You could make it like huge or teeny tiny.
Excellent. So it showed up in the chat because I cut and pasted it, but there we go. It goes under Tracy's name, so they don't know that I did it. So now we know how to do it in the slide, Tracy. No. Any other comments or questions for Katherine that we want to chat about today?
So while you guys are thinking of all those fancy questions, I'm gonna plug myself because I like to talk about myself. No, I don't. But for those of you who are here today or who you're watching, the repeats, the replays, check me out at KatherineLearnStuff.com. I've got like a weekly, every week a new post comes up on Friday mornings, and every week on YouTube a new video comes up, and I try to coordinate them. Next week will be different, but typically every week on Fridays there's a new video, a new blog post, and I do a weekly newsletter on Fridays. It's all Friday because I work towards the week to get to Fridays. And I also do this cool thing every Thursday. Right now, it might change in September after the summer, but every Thursday I do a live crafting with Katherine, and it's actually called Crafting Unscripted. And I do live crafting that's unprepared, and it's really funny because every week something inevitably goes wrong. But if you're a crafter, you know that it's not like the videos that we make for YouTube or whatever, right? There's always something going wrong, and there's always like a disaster, and it's really fun and funny. I do that every week. So you got to subscribe to my newsletter to get reminders about that every week, or subscribe to my YouTube channel and join me on that because it's fun, but it's totally like unscripted and stuff. And it's a lot of fun, and a lot of chaos happens because like if you're a crafter, it just goes nuts. Nothing ever works out.
Absolutely. And if you are a VIP, Katherine's doing a class in September. That's the same idea. So there's a live workshop in September. So something to look forward to.
Yes. The difference though with those ones is that's actually like prepared. That's like a strategic craft where I've actually gone through it 2 or 3 or 5 times to make sure that it works. And I provide the participants or the people who sign up for it, because not everyone ends up showing up. Everyone gets a copy of the file or the pictures or the whatever we need to do to make the file. And I'll provide you with like the paper or whatever, but I provide you with any files that you need so that you can get them ready beforehand, or you can just ignore them and do it live with me in the session, whichever way you prefer. But those are more structured, and those are actually a lot longer. So typically the live crafting with Katherine sessions that I do for the VIPs, and I also do them every month anyways. Those typically last like an hour to an hour and a half. Whereas my crafting and scripted is like 25 to 30 minutes, and then I'm like, that craft's not done. Sorry, I gotta go.
So if you're a VIP, definitely sign up to Catherine's.
Yeah, so for September, I'm doing like a fall craft. I haven't figured it out yet, so it's a bit. I'm still kind of in the summer right now, but it's a fall craft, and I'm gonna do something. I'm not sure what yet, so I'll have to think about that. But you get all the information a week. You get all the final information a week beforehand, so you got time to like, you know, figure it out, plan what you need, and get ready to hang out with me. So
Suze has already registered, so you at least have one person already registered.
You know what? I've gotten a lot of things because it goes through my store, so my store bangs me every time something goes through. I'm like, oh, someone else is coming, so it's always nice to see that people are coming. So, and they're pretty fun. Like I've always got people that show up, and there's a handful of people that sort of come to all the summits that I'm part of, or they just, they go to all the summits, and even the ones I'm not part of. But there's always a few of the people that are like, I'm gonna say my regulars. And it's always fun to have people come in, and then we chat, and I do it through YouTube, so I've got the chat on my screen, just the way the programs I use, so we can chat with each other, and it's always fun.
Got a couple people here registered, so yeah, if you're a VIP, register for it. If you're not VIP, like we've said already, grab the VIP pass. It's at live summit prices right now. It goes up at the end of the summit, or sometimes it goes away at the end of the summit, depending what we decide to do. But just 1 or 2 purchases will pay for the price of your pass. So 1 or 2, not purchases, 1 or 2, take advantage of 1 or 2 of the bonuses. It will pay for your pass.
Yes, exactly.
In the time. And there's a lot of it's actually our best VIP pass we've had, for sure. Like the most quality and value in it. So definitely take a look at that. Any other questions for Katherine? I'm going to look and see who we have next afterwards, just in case. But anyone have any questions?
I will go through all the comments here on the Facebook, on the YouTube when it goes on to there. It takes a while for all them to show up, but if anyone's asked a question, I will go back and answer those as well.
MK Gun is next.
Yes, and make sure if you give Katherine, if you're making any of her shakers, if you're taking them and doing something completely different that we haven't even imagined, post it in the Facebook group.
I really enjoy when people take my craft and like they do something different with it. I like the idea to be like I like to learn the new techniques, and then someone use it, right, and then like actually do something with it, right. So that's kind of what I like. So yes, please, if you are making anything that's like inspired by this, it doesn't have to be my summer shakers. If it's just something that I've inspired you to do because of this, please put it onto the Facebook group.
Yeah, and Katherine has
it doesn't there too. I was going to say too, like you do it today, or even if you do it next week,
right?
Go
and
ahead.
if you do it whenever, even you can email me a picture. I love it when people email me pictures of stuff that they've made. It's always nice to see, right? It's like, I've shared my crafting. That's kind of what it's fun, makes it fun, right? So
Melanie's asking, what's the name of your YouTube account? You can get it if you go to Katherine's page today, her link is there, but you can give them the name as well.
Yes, I'm at Katherine Learns Stuff. So there's no spaces or anything or underscores. I had the hardest time thinking of my name when I started this all up, and then that's what I picked, and now that's what I'm stuck with.
Yes, that is the way it works with this. You pick something and you're stuck with it.
Yeah. So it makes sense though, because I'm learning how to do all these crafts, and I'm teaching you how to do these crafts. So it's like, it works.
It works. Yes, it's not easy to change your branding once you choose it.
Yeah, and so I'm just gonna go with it, right? Whatever. So
it works. But thank you so much for being back and for being part of the summit. We really appreciate having you here. I'm going to give it a minute or 2 more to see if there's any other questions. And
for everyone that's here, make sure you follow me on YouTube and on my newsletter, and follow me on Facebook and Pinterest. I don't do as much on Facebook because I'm just terrible at remembering to do all the stuff.
We only have so many hours in the day, and there's way too social media. And I do find, because of the visual nature of what you do, Pinterest and, some people run very active Facebook channels, but Facebook no longer stores videos, so you really are.
Yeah, I don't know. There's so much, and I honestly, instead of spending half an hour posting on Facebook, or I prefer to craft. Like I prefer to make the stuff and do the stuff, right? So I prefer that. So
I think YouTube's a great place.
I'm working on it. we're growing, so that's good.
Yes.
And by we, I mean I, because it's just me.
It takes a lot. If you're playing any of our videos on YouTube, we've gotten enough going on that we get commercials on our little videos, and it's like some of them are the most inappropriate commercials for what we talk about. But hey, that goes. We have no control over what YouTube thinks you guys want to watch when you watch our videos. It's like
That's yeah. That's on them. It's not on you.
Yeah, it's on them actually. Yeah, it's just kind of
Right.
funny. It's like, oh, what's that commercial about for this thing? So thank you all so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Katherine, again for participating in our summits and doing that. I know you have to go pick up kids today and go take off your crafter's hat and put on your mom hat.
That's right.
And go do your kids and all of that kind of stuff. And they're off school tomorrow, so even more. We are back at 3 p.m. Eastern with MK Gunn. MK does some really cool, I don't even know what her project was. It was a layout. So it was a layout with some of her stuff, but she also makes some amazing, Tracy, let me if I'm correct, some wood embellishments that she designs and cuts herself and ships and sells. So there you go. That was a mouthful.
They're very unique too.
Yeah.
Like she has some different ones. I mean, come on, you can get Winnie the Pooh chipboard pieces from her. All right. So yeah, yes.
If you don't know yet, if you haven't noticed this yet, Tracy loves chipboard. So if it hasn't come through in her own presentation in that, chipboard's a very popular thing. So we'll be back with MK at 3, and then we will be switching seats here, kind of, and Tracy will be our speaker at 5. So I'll be interviewing Tracy directly at 5 o'clock. So thank you all so much. Love to see you in the Facebook group. Do your bingos, share what you're doing, and thank you again, Katherine, for being part of this.
Thanks, everyone.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Bye.
you.